Welcome back to the 4.1/4.2 Frost DK DPS guide for Cataclysm. If you haven't seen part 1, I suggest you go do that. It's got a lot of information on macros, stats, talents, glyphs, all that good stuff. This segment is going to cover mostly rotation as well as me actually doing a DPS test. Now, as stated beforehand, our rotation is pretty simple. On the absolute basic, it's Outbreak, 3 Obliterates, Frost Strike if you get close to your RP cap, and Howling Blast whenever you Rhyme procs. However, more in-depthly, you can get a lot more DPS out of your abilities if you know when to pop your cooldowns and when to use Empower Rune Weapon. Personally, for me, if I'm in a raid, this is basically my general rotation. I'm going to hit my DPS cooldown, my DPS macro, before the tank even pulls. I always ask for them to count down, 3, 2, 1 pulling. When it gets like 2, I'm going to hit my DPS macro. I'm going to then summon Army of the Dead. What that lets me do is that gives my Army of the Dead my potion, my buffed Pillar of Frost, as well as my racial, my Berserking. So my Army of the Dead is pretty badass. And generally, I will also immediately summon my Raised Dead to make sure he benefits from everything. However, I can hold off on that. Alright, once I hit my cooldown, I've summoned my Army of the Dead. Assuming I didn't summon my ghoul yet, we all charge the boss. Open up with Outbreak, start with your Obliterates. Ideally, you want as many Killing Machine procs to be used up by Obliterate, since it obviously hits harder than Frost Strike. But when you're on that downtime where there's no Obliterates and you got some RP, go ahead and hit your Frost Strike, even if you have to use a Killing Machine proc or hit Howling Blast whenever you Rhyme procs. Now, assuming my ghoul's still not summoned, by that time, if all of my power auras are up, or as many as possible before my potion and my pillar run out, that's when I'm going to summon my ghoul. When I have like 2 seconds left on my pillar, and I've milked it for as long as I can, I've got as many procs up as I can, I'm going to supercharge my ghoul. Alright, once my ghoul is supercharged and summoned, I go back to my DPS rotation. When you get to the point, and it should be relatively early on, within the first 30 seconds of the fight, where all your runes are on cooldown, and you're basically depleted of RP, you're going to hit Empower Rune Weapon, and just mash the hell out of Obliterate. Get 3 Obliterates off, get them off quick. Ideally, you get those 3 extra back-to-back Obliterates while you still have your potion up, while you still have your Pillar of Frost up, and all your proc buffs. Ideally, it doesn't always happen that way. That's what you want. That's what's going to get you with some amazing, amazing burst damage. And my philosophy is, the higher I can burst in the beginning, the higher my DPS is going to be at the end. It's a lot easier to slow the decline of your DPS from, say, 30k to 20 than it is to raise your DPS from 12 to 20. So I pop all my cooldowns, burst as hard as I can, get it as high as I can without pulling threat. You might have to work out some macro assignments with your Holy Pally. But get your DPS as high as you can, burst it up there. Unless it's a fight where you have to save your cooldowns like Magma, or they want you to save your cooldowns for the ads, the Vile Swills on a Heroic Maloriac. Unless there's something like that, burst the hell out of the boss. Get as much damage as you can, as fast as you can, and then just try to sustain it and let it decline as slow as possible. Now, assuming that everything went according to plan and it's all great, you hit your cooldowns, you summon Army of the Dead, you opened up with Outbreak, started with Obliterates. By that time, you had a couple, or not all, of your procs go up. Summon your ghoul, charge them up, keep spamming Obliterates and Frost Strikes until all your runes are on cooldown. You're out of runic power. You hit Empower Rune Weapon. That's going to give you more RP. 3 more Obliterates using Rhyme when it procs. You have to be careful because you don't want to do Obliterate, Obliterate, Obliterate when after the very first one you had a Rhyme proc. So often I'll do Obliterate, Frost Strike, check for a Rhyme proc. Obliterate, Frost Strike, check for a Rhyme proc. And that's generally how it works out. It normally ends up being Obliterate, Frost Strike, Howling Blast, Obliterate, Frost Strike, Howling Blast, give or take. So be aware that you can gimp yourself a wee bit by not using your free Howling Blast and potentially, not guaranteed, but potentially losing some by hitting 2 of them in a row. That's 2 potential free Howling Blast, not guaranteed, but you're potentially losing DPS. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Basically, from there, you've had all your cooldowns popped. You know, you've used everything you got. You've bursted up to a ridiculous high amount of DPS, and you're proud of yourself. From there, you just have to sustain as best you can. Obliterate takes priority. If you're at or near the runic power cap, Frost Strike, free Howling Blast with Rhyme. You should never, ever, ever have to hit Blood Strike. I have it in my bar, but that's just how I'm used to playing. You should never have to hit Blood Strike. And you should only have to hit a Plague Strike once every minute. You're in a cycle between Outbreak and Plague Strike, back and forth between the 2 of them. And again, if you expect Epidemic, that's the way you're going to be able to do it. If you don't have Epidemic, you're going to have to keep a tighter watch on your Blood Plague. Power Aura like this is going to be very nifty, and it may fall off. If so, you just reapply it as quick as possible. Do your best to keep it up full time.
It's to the point that everything's on cooldown. You're completely out of runes, you're out of runic power. Just go ahead and fill your time by casting in Horn of Winter. It's that little filler talent. You're going to click every 20 seconds, just give you a little extra RP. Free RP is always good. That's really about all there is to the rotation. For the test, I'm going to use a flask, I'm going to use personal food, I'm going to use 2 potions, I'm going to pre-pot before the pull, and then about 3 minutes into the fight, I'm going to be using my second potion. Ideally, when all my power auras are up, that's when I'm going to hit my second macro. My potion's inside that macro. And if everything goes well, I'll have all my power auras up, pop my potion, pop my Berserking, Pillar Frost, all that, then summon my ghoul and then go at it. But that's basically all you guys need to know, and let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Alright, here we go.
Pulling in 3, 2, 1, let's go. I'm going to try and hold off on summoning my ghoul until I get procs up here. There's 1, there we go, and summoning them now. Don't be afraid to use your blood tap as well. Power rune weapon. Blood Plague's about to fall off. Refresh it with Plague Strike the first time around. Fill in my time with Horn of Winter. I used Plague Strike. I should have used Outbreak that time. That's fine. Reapply with Outbreak that time. Plague Strike to reapply. Alright, next time Pillar of Frost is off cooldown, everything else, all my other cooldowns should be as well. I'm just going to want to try and time them up with my power auras and get as many buffs as I can before I hit my macro. And at that point I'm going to be summoning my ghoul. Outbreak in a second. There we go.
play strike. Alright, anytime now, my strength one's gonna proc, but I still got 20 seconds before I get that blue haste one. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and just take it now. Pop my cooldown and summon my ghoul. Outbreak. Our P cap, gotta get that down cross strike. I have to play strike soon. We're about done. 10 seconds left. Let's get ready to report this. As expected, Obliterate was on top, followed by Frost Strike, followed by my auto attack. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Please rate it, subscribe to it, comment on it. If you have special requests on a class, go ahead and throw it in there, and if I play that class, I will make a guide for it. I plan on doing a lot more of these, help a lot of people out. If you ever need to hit me up, all my tunes start with Draven. Again, I'm playing on the US Burning Legion server. There you guys go. Hopefully you enjoy. Have a good one.